Hey guys, it's Jet888 here, showing you my Rumble account. It's my Rumble, so I'd like you to go over there after you watch this video because I'm just doing some updating from my yesterday's video that I probably couldn't put on YouTube. So I covered the USPS.com and a couple other things that I probably won't talk about here. And a lot of my video was referring to this guy who the USPS hosted his stamp, or just some of his artwork, I guess. He's well known. He died May 10th, 1999. And yeah, he's a writer of children's books. He looks like that. Oh, and also the adult-oriented Playboy books, which I mentioned in my yesterday's video. So USPS is interested in him, and I looked a little deeper as to why, and yesterday I found quite a bit of things that answered my question, but I also found a little bit more after I finished that video. What I didn't do is I didn't look at his name in the gematria, which is just a numerical equivalent to the letters and numerals. They have a numerical equivalent to them, and what I found was his name was equivalent to that. A couple other things you see there. Here's a few more that 1176 has in common with our children's book writer. So yesterday, after I had quite a long conversation with a worker at the USPS over the phone at their official site, and I brought up and asked, why are they shipping these when they can't even ship me my order on time? It was 2 days late, so the plant inside the box was dead and the box was beat up, so that's kind of typical of them. But I asked them, why are they sending those all over the place? And I eventually got hung up on. But this is one thing more on a personal note, is shortly after this guy hung up on me at USPS, my son got a call that they asked for me by name at his business. Now, I have zero affiliation with his business except the fact that I do keep a lot of my money, not a lot because I don't have a lot, but my money at his facility, because it's a insurance thingy, like a life insurance thing, investment place. But so for some reason they got my son's phone number at his work, not his cell phone, his work, and they asked for me by name and hung up. So I thought that was kind of weird. But anyhow, I looked at USPS today, their gematria, and guess what? That's my son's name, and he lives in New York. So I thought that was weird, but I did think it seemed very intentionally as an intimidation tactic, and they're also affiliated with those words too. Well, they might not be, but their name is. So I wanted to actually talk to someone directly in DC. I wanted to talk to the head postmaster of DC, and so I looked them up, and guess what? They live on their business is on 475 L Infant, like a baby, L Infant. So I kind of looked up L Infant, or not looked it up, but I did the anagram for that, and I came up with NN fetal, and NN happens to be 80, and 80 is also a DNA lie, which I thought was kind of strange. And also, let's see, this 28, oh yeah, so it's also chip, as in micro. So I went looking around in New York on these Bing maps here by Microsoft. Just happens to be my Microsoft, and it's 1700 block of Pennsylvania Avenue. There's a lot of mail trucks around this, but what I found, and I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. Look what I found here. Let me see if I can get a better position. Hang on. Look, all of a sudden when I mention the word Microsoft, my computer stops working. Isn't that funny? Okay, here, so I'm outside the Capital One building at 1717 Pennsylvania Avenue, and I find this is weird. There's like a UN little UN emblem there. It says, I think it's in here it says 1717, and 17 is NWO. So here's a Capital One building, and I know, or I don't think that they have anything to do with what's out here. But look at that, the golden triangle. Do you see that with all the little baby triangles all around it right there? Look at that. Isn't that strange? Because you know what's really strange about it? Is when you go to the PDF file or the Federal Bureau of Investigation, that's FBI. They've been naughty lately, but you go to their cyber division, which for some reason they're getting lost on the Hunter's laptop. They don't even know where that thing is, but I think they know, they just don't want to tell you. But they talk about here those guys, the pedophiles, and this says the boy lover logo, B logo, is a small blue spiral-shaped triangle surrounded by a larger triangle, whereby the small triangle represents a small boy and the larger triangle represents an adult man. So isn't that interesting? And now that's what they put. They have two, this is from their page, and this is what we see in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. Isn't that interesting? It's all up and down the street. So these flags are on Pennsylvania Avenue and 17th, which I didn't look any further, but I saw them there. So here's Pennsylvania Avenue, and there's the Federal Triangle. So yeah, maybe they'll say, oh, well, it's the Federal Triangle, but yeah. Anyhow, here's the map, and there's the White House just down the street. A lot of work being done in this area right here, the Smithsonian Institute and stuff. There's a lot of work going on. And the head postmaster, there's the headquarters, are on El Infant Plaza. So another reason why I think that maybe the USPS got involved with his work is because he had a young daughter who died of an aneurysm at age 11, and the book he wrote in her memory was called A Light in the Attic. So I think it's unusual for a child at age 11 to have an aneurysm, but maybe that's why they wanted to bring it to the forefront, because of all that stuff that's going on now with children. But I looked at some anagrams of the title of the book, A Light in the Attic, and one I came up with is genitalia, HTTH, and the numerical values that go with that. Some numerical values are DNA SAR, T-Mobile, Bloods, Real Pain, The End, Bible God, ISIS, and Light. Okay, wait, sorry you guys, I did that wrong. When I looked at the anagram for A Light in the Attic, I did it wrong. I left out an H, or I left out a T. So it's still genitalia, and then HHTTT, which is HHTTT equals those. And so looking at 316, it's chest pain, the stage, and the V word, and which is 76 there. And the stage, you know, Gates' name, Gates equals stage. Coming down a little further here, it's also Disney, BioNTech, and the Mark. Also, see, here's from Gematria. One more thing. Yesterday when I was covering his name, also what came into play, being the same as his name, was this, Mark of the Beast Camps. And looking at Wikipedia, which probably isn't the best reference, but you know, it's easy and quick, so you can double check things. That's when he was born. So here's a little bit more about Silverstein. Is that Stein or Steen? I guess it's Steen. But it says here, let's see, where am I? Mass market paperback readers across America were introduced to Silverstein in 1956 when Take 10 was reprinted by Ballantine Books as Grab Your Socks. So they changed the name of the book. And here's the name of the book now, Grab Your Socks, but it was Take 10. But when you look at Take 10 at 261, Light of God, SARS, and Take America Back. So I guess that didn't work for them. but Grab Your Socks did, because that's New World Order and Trust the Plan. So it says here, a book published by Simon Schuster by him called Now Here's My Plan was one of his most famous. And it says, look at that, these two people are sitting there going, now here's my plan. Someone mentioned here saying it was a very pessimistic cartoon, but he said he didn't think it was, because there's a lot of hope even in a hopeless situation. They analyze it and question it. I did this cartoon because I had an idea about a funny situation about two guys. And there's your funny situation. So I'm going to have to follow up on this because a lot more left here and I'm running out of time. But he has a song in 1962 called Boa Constrictor. But for now, good pick, USPS.